ESPN's presentation of U.S. soccer is presented by the United States Marine Corps. This is the home of the defending MLS Cup champions, the Columbus Crew. Another MLS season will kick off later in March. This one kicks off here. Mexico in green, USA in white. John Harkes, what do we expect early?
Well, I would think that Mexico really got to keep their shape and be disciplined. Sven-Goran Eriksson's thinking that, look, at this point, we haven't done so well in the last phase. We've got to watch the USA, and they're very dangerous coming forward. The U.S. at the other end, well, they can attack, JP, but they also got to pick their spots when to do it. Already, this looks very promising from the U.S.
Heath Pierce way up. Miss-hit that ball. Up for Giovanni Dos Santos, a player to watch, certainly number 17, young but gifted. Beasley on the sideline, and that ball goes out. Flag was up as well. On the far side of the field. You've played in these kinds of conditions before. We saw the heavy winds. What does that do to the mindset coming out?
Well, you have to prepare in a different way, JP. Obviously, the technical side of the game may break down at times because your first touching the ball is in wet conditions. You get heavy legs. But, you know, it's just mentally. You have to change your mindset. You've got to be able to scrape for everything and fight and battle, pick up the second ball in the midfield, and dictate the pace from there.
Throw in coming up, Ricardo Osorio, number 5 for Mexico. They haven't beaten the USA on American soil in their last 10 appearances. Mexico, though, sounded pretty confident yesterday that maybe this is the year, this is the game. Beasley too far for Donovan. They usually work very well together. Pavel Pardo, a player to watch, will play it up for Dos Santos. Gio, as he's called, will take off. To the right side it goes. Nery Castillo, another young gifted player for Mexico. Off his foot, knocked away by Pierce. To the middle, towards Dempsey, number 8. Over to Frankie Haydock, who starts for the injured Steve Cherundolo, a fan favorite here in Columbus, playing for the Crew. Throw in here for the United States. Brian Ching has it knocked away. The cross from Dempsey, cut off. Rafa Marquez, long-time stalwart and captain of the team. Out wide, this is Carlos Ochoa, sending it into the box. Knocked down by Bocanegra, picked up by Mexico. Inside the box, Castillo, Dos Santos, save made in front. Tim Howard, what a chance though for Mexico early. Oh, both teams going at it. No sitting back right here at the start of the match.
Well, what a big save right there by Tim Howard. He needed to come up big. And that just tells you about the conditions, JP. That ball should have been cleared by the U.S. defense. It wasn't. It left them hanging out. Dos Santos jumps on a loose ball, and really he should score from that position. That should be a 1-0 Mexico situation right now, and Tim Howard is the one that kept them out of that situation. Very well done by Tim.
Carlos Salcido on the left. Galindo over the top. Intended for Ochoa. Foul is called. The referee is from Guatemala, Carlos Patres. Free kick is coming for Mexico. And they'll play it short. No room there on the wing for Medina. USA will get to it. Donovan with a touchback. Given right back to Pavel Pardo. He'll switch it. Well done to Giovanni Dos Santos. Against Pierce. Help was coming from Beasley. Sent in by Pardo. Nobody near it. A miss hit there. Wet field, wet ball. We may see a lot of that today, John.
Well, that's the weather conditions again. You saw Onyewu went to clear that ball out, and the wind caught it, kept it inside the 18, very high. But it's putting the ball in the box right now and letting the defense sort it out. And that's really what the game plan changes. Instead of playing neat and tidy, good passes technically all over the field, it's get it into the box and put them under pressure and see who can clear the ball the best.
Medina, no room there. Frankie Haydock had that sideline covered like he owned it. Throw in for Mexico. Carlos Patres will have them take it over. Sellout crowd, around 24,000. They've come from 43 states, the District of Columbia, Canada, and Mexico. I'm not sure what happened there, but that's going to be a free kick, not a throw-in, as was the original call. Pavel Pardo will take it, the most capped player on this team. With 1:45 coming into this. Sending it up, and just over, Tim Howard.
Well, again, this was a situation earlier, and we mentioned how quick it is to get the ball in the box. This miscleared here by the USA, and then, again, they're on top of it, but Dos Santos is the one who's quicker to the ball. Good save by Tim Howard. Again, this ball should have been cleared by the U.S. The wet conditions, it lends to, well, inconsistency in terms of that. Mexico were quick to jump on the ball. We almost saw Landon get on the end of that one, in behind Mexico's defense.
Osvaldo Sanchez will put it forward, taken back by Kleshton towards Dempsey. Medina blocked it. Dempsey plays for Fulham in the Premiership. Will get it back. Up on the right side, Haydock. Left-footed cross was denied by Pardo, out for a USA throw-in. Haydock, that cross denied as well.
Well, it's a familiar role for Frankie Haydock, as he does this with the Columbus Crew being at home. He's got the support of their fans, of course, with the U.S. fans being here, but he loves to push forward. I'm sure Bob Bradley's told him at times, say, hey, you've got to sit back early in this game, stay disciplined in the shape. You don't want to expose too much early on.
Michael Bradley, number 4, plays it up.
Good ball.
It allows the USA to run, but it was put a little bit too far in front by Kleshton. Almost unrecognizable with that long hair gone. He's wearing number 16. Push back the other way. Ricardo Osorio, long ball to Ochoa. Onyé will win most of those, regardless of the elements, but this time he's called for a foul. Free kick for Mexico. From distance. Tim Howard telling everybody what he wants in the wall. It's Pardo and Castillo, and they'll play it short. Galindo. Intended for Dos Santos. Pardo missed it. Beasley doesn't, but he gave it right back to Marquez. He's pierced in the air. DeMarcus Beasley. He's taken down. Free kick, U.S. Pierce over the ball. Pierce playing for Hansa Rostock in Germany's 2nd division. Hasn't really played, though, since December. They're on a winter break. Up for grabs. Haydock at most of that. Onyé floats it right back, but it'll go right back to Osvaldo Sanchez. Tough game to play for a lot of these players. Some of them are in form with their club team. Other guys have not been playing for a while. The MLS players are in preseason training.
And this goes with the same with Mexico, JP, because a lot of them took a break in the Mexican League, and some of their players, just as some of the U.S. players, are finding it hard to get playing time at their clubs, whether it be overseas, you know, or even domestically here. They're trying to be fit, and you know, the U.S. I think are raring to go after being 5 weeks in a U.S. training camp, so they want to play. They want to get right into it. No better way than to start against the best team in the CONCACAF, Mexico.
Is that the way you'd like to start? World Cup qualifying, final round against the best?
Absolutely.
Pardo has played in many of these big games. Will get it back. Kept it on the ground. A bit too far for Castillo. Ochoa. Giovanni Dos Santos cutting. Nice moves there. Couldn't get through at the last moment, but the USA will give it away in a bad spot. Quick shot taken. That's blocked as well. Michael Bradley taking off with it. Playing in Germany for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Well, just before that, it was a great defensive play by Michael Bradley. Then I think the ball was miscleared by the U.S., but can't afford to do too many of those, but very good defensive play by Bradley.
Great action up and down the field. We're only in the 10th minute.
And this is what it's all about, the pace of the game, the energy, the passion that's out in the field, and then really an aggressive dislike for each other. What these two countries are all about. And it has been historically, and those images, that's what comes to mind when you talk about a rivalry. And it is rivalry week, isn't it?
More respect, though, now between these two teams. Bob Bradley certainly knows that. He had a lot of respect for his counterpart. He mentioned that yesterday, Sven-Göran Eriksson, who coaches Mexico. And clearly, John, the pressure's more on Eriksson than it is on Bob Bradley.
It's interesting that you say that. I mean, they're 4-4-1 coming into this game. Bob Bradley has really done an excellent job of preparing his team. So, you know, with Eriksson, they've linked him back to going to Portsmouth, you know, thinking that, well, maybe if they lose to the USA, he may be fired. But having said that, sometimes you go through the rocky times like they did in the last round of qualifying. They know what they did wrong. They can't do any worse than that. Maybe they come in here as underdogs and they just go for it.
Beasley missed that one. USA had the advantage call. Pushed up. Osorio back to Marquez, who plays for Barcelona. Ching. Wide left. Beasley. The cross. Right there. Cleared away. Nice job on the defensive side by the veteran Carlos Salcido. Medina slowed down there, taken away. Hayden for Bradley. Beasley on the run up. Heath Pierce looking, crossing. Too far for Donovan, but right up the middle. Knotted down by question. Let's see who touched it last. Is it a corner? It is.
Well, it's a good build-up by the U.S. that leads to this. And again, like you said, we've seen so many times the good service from Beasley, and then we just saw it from Pierce. Remember Beasley, you know, putting that ball in the box for Dempsey in the World Cup, who scored the goal. And that's the type of balls that you need tonight to make a difference, to put the pressure on them in terms of Mexico's back line. And now, again, with this set play, see Ching in there so tight to Oswaldo Sanchez just in front. It's going to be a dangerous area. That's a group of players you got to keep an eye on.
Beasley tried that in-swinger. Hung up in the wind. It's loose in the box. Picked up and sent skyward by Marquez. But you could see when Beasley went to take that corner kick what the wind was doing.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those, JP, that as a player, you adjust sometimes just at the last second. Maybe it's a driven hard ball on the ground that skims through the defense. But again, with the wind, it's anybody's ball in the air. And when you got Onyewu challenging for balls in the box and Bocanegra, that seemed to have a good advantage in the air.
Michael Bradley tapped it back. Bocanegra, the USA captain. Offside flag is up under Marcus Beasley. "52 degrees. It is warmer than we thought it was going to be. But the showers and the wind we weren't counting on. We thought maybe snow when we saw this game on the schedule. But it's still going to be about the elements here tonight."
Right. When we walked into the stadium tonight, the wind, I think, almost took you and your umbrella away like Mary Poppins.
We were.
I was a little bit concerned.
We were blown into the stadium. We didn't walk it.
It was a hurricane-esque type atmosphere here and weather conditions. So it settled down quite a bit, and the field is in excellent condition.
Leandro Augusto, far side. He missed Medina with that pass. There's the man under the pressure, Sven-Göran Eriksson, but he says he enjoys the pressure. That's part of coaching. Mexico have fired quite a few coaches after losses against the United States.
You know, this is his first situation in the U.S.-Mexico game, as we say, but Sven-Göran Eriksson has loads of really just ability to coach top players in the world. And his experience coming into this that's why Mexico likes him, because they want the discipline within their side. Under Hugo Sanchez, I think they lacked that a bit. Yeah. The creativity and the imagination was there, but the discipline and the balance was not there.
Beasley will have a throw-in. 15th minute, scoreless. World Cup qualifier, USA versus Mexico, the final round beginning tonight. Inside it goes, cleared by Marquez in a bad spot, but it went to someone in green, Pardo, who played it up for Giovanni Dos Santos. Balls played up the middle like that tend to come back and bite you. Knocked away from Castillo. Good job by Question. And it was actually knocked off of Castillo. U.S. Marine Corps team profile, you're looking at the average age for the United States is 25 years of age, and 12 of their 18 players are based now outside of the USA. Most of the players that either play in Europe or MLS, and only one player, Jose Torres, playing for Mexico in the Mexican League, I should say, with Pachuca.
And Pachuca just beat Club America this past weekend. And Pardo plays for them. Obviously did not play in that game, but Torres did. It was a 3-1 result.
Giovanni Dos Santos looking for Castillo. Didn't link up. Pardo. Dos Santos. Castillo. Castillo plays in Ukraine for Shakhtar Donetsk. The Dempsey pass. See, Dempsey and Beasley have switched sides now. Dempsey started out as a right winger. Beasley on the left. Now it's the opposite. Here's DeMarcus shooting it. That's why.
That's a great build-up by the U.S. And like you said, I love the interchanging of players and the understanding. And that's difficult to do, but I think the staff, you know, Bob Bradley and his staff have done a good job preparing the players. And it starts 10 months ago. It's not, you know, it doesn't happen on a Monday morning, especially when players are flying in from across the country and across the seas. That preparation starts 10 months ago. They know what the roles are. They interchange well, and they cover for each other. So that's the balance that this U.S. side has.
This ball rolls out for a throw-in for Mexico. Osorio. He plays for Stuttgart. Went there after the last World Cup ended in '06. Bradley was on the back of Ochoa, so he gets called for the foul. Carlos Salcido. Down the wing. Cover is there. Oh, what a job by Onyewu. It's going to be a throw-in for the United States.
And this is an excellent decision by Onyewu to really leave the center part of the field and go and cover for Frankie Haydick in behind. Onyewu, an excellent decision and a great tackle to follow up. And that's the cover I think the U.S. does quite well now for each other. But on the other end, for Mexico, I think that's where their weakness is. If they have two outside backs pushing forward, their center backs, I don't think are quick enough to really spread out and cover those spaces. And that's where the U.S. can take advantage of that with the flank play.
Left side, Pierce. Question, Beasley. With Pardo on him. Question trying to play it across. Now it's Ochoa who got a piece of it. And it will go out for a throw-in for the United States. Intended for Ching. Bradley slides it over. Dempsey now in that middle. For Hayden. Onyewu, number 5 for the United States. Bocanegra. All the way back to Carlos Bocanegra, who plays for the club side Rennes in France. Halfway line. Question from Bradley. Lead pass off the mark, intended for Beasley. Picked up by Giovanni Dos Santos. Rafa Marquez. Back for Dos Santos. Played up by Osorio. Too far. Onyewu stays with it all the way back to Tim Howard. Off a block. Haydick chasing it down. On that wing, Salcido was there.
That just brought back memories.
Oh, yeah.
The 2-2 game up in Foxborough many years ago.
Casey Keller.
Casey Keller went to clear that ball.
And who did it hit? Carlos Hermosillo?
Yeah,
right?
off the head and went in. Yeah. You don't want to see that again.
No, no. Good memory, though. Right side, played up to Dos Santos. Beasley battle there. Throw in United States. Heath Pierce. Back to Bocanegra. Onyewu to Bradley. Pierce. Towards Ching. He got pushed down by Galindo. Bad place to foul. Free kick, U.S.
Before the game started, JP, I said one of the key factors in this is having the discipline not to foul around the outside of the 18. Because both teams really, and there's a shove in the back. Brian Ching always been a constant threat up front, holds the balls very well. But again, both teams are very good around the box in terms of free kicks. And Donovan and Kleshtin both love these areas of play. Either one of them can step up and produce a goal in this situation. So, having said that, tough situation for Mexico. The line of defense, look at the referee's going to have to push them back, and Sanchez is going to have to make a quick decision here whether or not he cheats to go behind the wall. Is it too close to bend it over the wall? I don't think so. I think it's in a perfect area for this.
23 yards away. Donovan is there. Beasley is to his right. Waiting for the whistle. Donovan gets it. Beasley thought about it. Donovan strikes it wide. Let's send it back to Ryan Burr in the studio. Sports Center right now.
Thank you very much. Brett Favre's done with football again. 39-year-old quarterback called the Jets today. Said he's retiring after 18 seasons, ending a record-setting career for now. Elsewhere over on ESPN, it is UConn and Syracuse. The Connecticut Huskies, the #1 team in the league. They lost their second leading scorer, Jerome Dyson, to a knee injury. Sports Center follows Carolina and Duke on ESPN.
Thank you, Ryan. We're all happy to be a part of Rivalry Week. What better rivalry to have in this region than the USA versus Mexico, kicking off the final round of World Cup qualifying. Game 1 of 10 games that these two teams will play to try to get to South Africa in 2010. Right side Haydock for Donovan. Good idea, but denied. Flag was up anyway. Going offside. '23rd minute. Scoreless.
Well, we were talking about the free kick and how dangerous it is in that position. There is Landon Donovan trying to catch the goalkeeper's side, thinking that Sanchez would maybe cheat a little bit in behind the wall, which a lot of goalkeepers do. And Landon just missing the mark. Very dangerous point from there.
Into the 23rd minute, anything surprise you about this game, the way it started or gone?
The fast pace of the game did not surprise me at all. The wet conditions there, the ball's going to zip around the pitch. What I did, like from the U.S., though, is that they kept a very high line. They wanted to shut down this Mexico team and not give them any breathing space at all to build confidence in themselves.
Over the top, intended for Donovan from Kleshtin. Rivalry Week continues tomorrow night. It starts off at 7 Eastern, the Big East pairing, Louisville and Notre Dame tipping off. Then at 9 Eastern, a Pac-10 showdown. It's UCLA and Arizona State. The Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price, part of Rivalry Week, presented by Cisco on ESPN. Osvaldo Sanchez, World Cup veteran, got that one forward, deflected out. It belongs to the United States. Haydock's throw in for Ching. Up towards Donovan. Cut off by Marquez. Marquez was injured a couple of weeks ago playing for Barcelona. There was some speculation might not be able to come back for this game. Mexico was very pleased that he was able to.
Well, you got to keep an eye on him because it was a calf injury, and anything, especially in wet conditions, is going to hurt. You put a lot of strain on that calf.
Salcido.
Good pressure from Dempsey there,
resulting in the USA getting possession. Haydock from Dempsey. Mickey Haydock still so fit at age 34. He'll be 35 later this summer. From
point of view of like trying to keep the ball in that area, and really I would think that Frankie Hidick would want to try to draw a foul in that corner because, again, set pieces is very important to capitalize, and anything that you can do in just trying to draw the defenders out, make them overcommit sometimes and foul a player. It's very important to have that patience and composure on the ball.
Intended for Ochoa. Onyewu bit in early, but the USA had cover. Dempsey for Hayden.
Dempsey looks pretty sharp tonight. It's a good start for him. He's done very well for Fulham in the last 5-6 games, and he's played more on a left-sided midfielder role for Fulham. So don't be surprised if you see he and DeMarcus Beasley switch sides throughout this game.
Goal kick coming up. Let's go downstairs. Pedro Gomez has something about a voodoo doll.
Guys, a little bit of a side story here. This was given away in Mexico, and as a way to try to dissuade the Americans from playing well. Even came with needles. Landon Donovan, I talked to him yesterday. He said he doesn't believe in this, so that's not actually hurting him. On the back here, they put gringos. I think they meant to put number 10, which is Donovan, but they got it wrong and put 01, so maybe that's why it's not hurting him.
Thanks, Pedro.
They also had the red hair like Carrot Top, so I don't know where that came from.
They asked Sven-Göran Eriksson about that yesterday, about the voodoo, and he said, I'm Swedish. He says, don't ask me about that stuff.
Yeah, they need a lot more than voodoo.
USA is favored whenever they play in the United States. Mexico favored when they play in Mexico. One of these days, Mexico will win here.
Eventually.
USA will win at Azteca. Just not sure when. But that's been the trend. It's been a homers series of late. Donovan quickly sent it into the middle, intended for Michael Bradley. Beasley steps up, cracks it off the foot, left foot, stopped there by Sanchez. That turned into almost something out of nothing. Giovanni Dos Santos.
Just keep an eye on Dos Santos because of the pace he has right now. You know, he's not seen a lot of time at Tottenham Hotspurs either, so he comes back here. He's very happy to get the starting nod from Eriksson, the head coach, and he wants to show what he can do as a young player. Very exciting. And there's Sasha Kleshin. You know, they got to talk about his hat trick against Sweden on the 24th of January. Had a trial over at Celtic, did quite well. The offer was there, $2 million. I think the MLS wanted more. And Celtic was not willing to offer anymore, so that's gone away. But they're going to keep an eye on him, they say.
It's gone away for now. Yep. Intended for Ochoa. Given back. Giovanni Dos Santos looks, floats that one over towards Medina. Hayden catching up to Medina. Now doubled up there. Good job by Dempsey to come back and help out. Augusto into the box. Off Onyewu. Another one that was mishit. No foul was called. Much to the dismay of the Mexican supporters that are here, that foul was called. Donovan in the U.S. will have a free kick.
Leandro Augusto and you saw Pardo looking to quickly pounce on Landon Donovan because Landon, you know, we know how his pace out of that midfield, how he bursts out of that with great energy. They want to shut that down early. But it was a great tackle from behind on Kleshin that broke up that play, and that's the type of midfield work you need from he and Bradley in the center of the park.
Played long by Dos Santos, intended for Ochoa. Beasley is back to track. Bocanegra.
Excellent ball by Bocanegra.
Pierce was wide open. In for Donovan. He tried to get between two Mexico defenders.
And you know, when Landon Donovan steps up really high with Ching, you know, sometimes that situation here, this is what Ochoa is trying to do to Onyewu, and it's only about bumping him off the ball, really. He's not even looking at the ball, he's just trying to set him up. But there's the shape from the U.S. side. It's good discipline right now. The balance is there, and you can see, actually on the opposite side with Mexico, Eriksson's kind of discipline, you know, that he's put into this team. And they're keeping their shape. So really, right now, it's a matter of who makes the mistakes and who pounces on those mistakes better and takes advantage of it.
Gusto gave that ball back to Onyewu. Tapped up by Question in his space.
What I was saying earlier, and I want to finish my thought, it was like when Landon does push up high with Ching, it'd be nice to see if Beasley could tuck in a little bit, and even Dempsey get more involved of coming inside to pick up those balls underneath the front men.
Pardo for Mexico, kept it on the ground for Ochoa on the turn. That's blocked. Mexico's looked dangerous around that USA box. Just haven't been able to finish. Dempsey, bumped by Augusto, finds Pierce. Beasley with that speed to get to the outside. Here's the cross, far post, not a down for Dempsey. Save Sanchez, a beauty. That matches Howard's at the other end at the start of the game. USA with it on the right. A half hour gone in this World Cup qualifier from sold out Columbus Crew Stadium, home of the MLS Cup champions, beating the Red Bulls in that final match that was played. Giovanni Dos Santos will play it to the left. Upfield, Medina. Near the box, he'll play it across, headed away by the U.S. Mexico has a player down. It's Castillo near the halfway line, but play is continuing as Howard was going to come out for it. It's cleared out instead, and finally the look back towards the halfway line where Nery Castillo is still down. And they will summon the training staff to come out onto the field.
Well, it looks like a hamstring. He's holding behind his quad. And that's not good news for Mexico. Here's Castillo. You see the chase is on from Frankie Hayek, but he just pulls up. And that's not good news. When a player is sprinting with the ball and he pulls up like that, normally you've got a strain in the hamstring or even more of a degree of a strain. So Castillo just coming off of Shakhtar Donetsk, and he played the full. So maybe Martinez comes in. He played against Sweden.
Well, you don't want to have to make a change because of injury, especially in the first half. So we'll see what happens here. 33rd minute, scoreless.
And here's the opportunity with Beasley, and this is why he's on the field, the one-on-one. And there he is, taking him on. He's getting down that wing past Osorio, and it's a great ball into the back post. Landon Donovan, who played with Beasley when they were youngsters at the IMG Academy, they understand each other. And Dempsey pounces on the ball, brings out the best in Sanchez. So a good all-around play there of players connecting in the final third for the U.S. Bob Bradley, the head coach, would like to see more of that as we take a look at Castillo coming off the field, and he looks like he's done for the night.
Yeah, they've got Israel Martinez up by the fourth official. Tough break for Mexico.
And this changes a little bit of the way they attack now. Like Castillo was playing very high. Not sure if Martinez is going to drift into a left-sided position or more of a central role, but you got to see how things play out for Mexico.
Far lesser experience, though, is Martinez than the man he replaced. Bradley with that pass. Cut off there. Martinez. Niewu up for Hayduk. They almost ran into each other on that sideline. The ball goes out for a throw-in. ESPN's presentation of U.S. Soccer is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. 35th minute, scoreless in this opening game of 10 in this final round of World Cup qualifying. USA versus Mexico. Always a battle when these two teams meet, wherever the venue is. Augusto. Medina. He'll cross it towards Ochoa. Right back, Pardo blocked, but there was a whistle anyway.
It's a dangerous play there, and you see Medina, the number 12 from Mexico, he has pushed up top with Ochoa, which Martinez has pushed out to the left-hand side, and here it is. Yeah, a little dangerous play there. Very aggressive from Bocanegra, though, attacking the ball. You want that from every center back.
This player, Ochoa, had a couple of caps in 2002. No more until 2008. That's a long time to be away from the national team, but to his credit, he's back on it. Donovan. Look at the sea of green around Landon Donovan when he received that ball. On Yewu. Up for Ching. Towards Donovan, knocked away. Dos Santos. With help from Pardo. Good job by Giovanni Dos Santos. Look at that skill. An under 17, under 20 Mexican international. They thought he'd be better by this point, but he's still only 19 years old. Martinez cross. Ochoa. Blocked in the box. It's loose. Medina. Saved Tim Howard. '37th minute. It remains scoreless. Howard with a couple of good saves. Osvaldo Sanchez with a beauty at the other end several minutes ago.
And Dos Santos, his composure in tight situations with many players around him, is the one that really created that Mexico attack. And the U.S. side, they are hopeful and very, very grateful that Tim Howard has soft hands. To not give a rebound there, to actually pull it in wet conditions. Very well done.
37th minute. This World Cup qualifier from Columbus. Tim Howard keeping it scoreless.
Yeah, again, here's the ball that gets played in from the opposite side, and there's a turn from Medina, just across, trying to hit the back post. Tim Howard has it covered.
Michael Bradley steps up and nails that one, but it's wide of Sanchez.
Very promising from Michael Bradley. It's good to have a defensive midfielder come forward and be able to strike with power and authority from distance. We've seen Sasha Kleshin do it in MLS, and now it's good to see Michael Bradley. And remember, don't forget that Herenveen, he had many goals coming forward out of that midfield, and maybe played a little bit higher. But still, it's good to have that threat. It changes it up. The dynamics of the game change, and Mexico has to step up higher now, which creates more space in behind them.
Something for them, obviously, to have to think about now.
And the more that they do that, guys like Bradley and Kleshin are striking balls, then at halftime, that's part of the talk. Eriksson goes in and said, step up higher and close that space down, which then opens up the wings for the U.S. and maybe to get in behind them.
Donovan trying to get it back, and does with a good second and third effort. Donovan's pass, he almost sprung Ching. Good idea, but it was cut off by Mexico, and then a Beasley foul.
Yeah, it was a good effort by Landon Donovan to keep that play alive, although the better option was Clint Dempsey making the run outside. Marquez with the nutmeg. There you go, little Salah catches him on the toe. But here's Landon, you know, just going into this play and keeping it alive with Marquez on the ground, really. The center back from Barcelona. And there's the ball. He's just trying to cross it inside, and Dempsey was coming late on the outside. So the space was there.
Beasley will play it back. Marquez apparently okay for Mexico, retreating along with Galindo against Donovan. This is Marquez. Donovan wanted a foul called. Apparently there's one called upfield against him. Long for Ochoa. Bocanegra against him. Foul. And just like it was at the other end, a bad place for the USA to commit the foul.
Not a good position right now for the U.S. To give up a foul, especially a little bit later in the half. And Bocanegra, there's no need for him. He actually puts his hand up on his shoulder. So look, let the ball play out. You know, you're in good position. You're between the goal and the player. Very good angle there. Just let him see if he can take the ball down, and then you can step in. Don't overcommit. Puts his hand up on him, and the referee makes the right decision there.
An important free kick for Mexico. Martinez or Pardo? Well, swirling wind.
Throughout qualifying, you've seen Pardo very well whip this ball across the box. He did it against Sweden as well.
Martinez takes it, but right over the top, and Tim Howard had an easy view of that.
Yeah, you know, if I'm Pardo, I'm yelling at Martinez at halftime because he does a very good job of bringing that ball away from the keeper as well. The right footer is an outswinger, and it's difficult for a keeper to get to. That one is really straight into the keeper there.
Down was Pierce as that ball was played longer.
Well,
physical play continues.
Well, when you talk about a rivalry, that's all part of it. You know, the chippiness, the late tackles, after the ball's been played. And, you know, sometimes there's the diving on the field, and the referee has to be very sure of himself before he commits to anything in terms of cards and going out. There, we're not sure if there was anything after the play. It happened so quickly.
Bocanegra over Ochoa. Dempsey tried to knot it to Hayden. It goes out of play. It's the final round of World Cup qualifying. 6 teams are left, including the 2 that you are seeing here tonight. 10 games they'll play. Top 3 advanced. 4th place team takes on a South American 5th place team to also go in. So there could be as many as 4 CONCACAF teams in the next World Cup, 2010 in South Africa. Back it goes to Howard. To Heath Pierce. 42nd minute. USA versus Mexico on rivalry week. Hit it. Dempsey. Intended for Ching. He received it well and sets the table for this cross from Haydock. And then Haydock runs into the advertising boards. He might have had a little help, but that's good sportsmanship there by Carlos Salcido. It's going to be a corner.
Yeah, a little bit of sportsmanship, gamemanship, but at the same time, it felt like he wanted to pull Frankie Haydock by the back of his hair. But that's better from Frankie Haydock. And I like where the U.S. and Clint Dempsey, he drifts inside from the right midfield position, and he opens up that channel for Haydock to get across. Now we set up this corner kick with DeMarcus Beasley. The physical play in the box right now, the referee's getting a hold of it. But again, these spaces, there's the players right there marking up. Onyewu, yeah, he's a threat, and so is Bocanegra. Michael Bradley's in there.
Back post area, Donovan, right across. Knocked in, USA has scored. Michael Bradley.
Well, it's a great corner kick. And again, it's the teammates at the youth finding each other. Beasley to Donovan on the back post. He brings it back across. Onyewu brings to Sanchez. Great save. And there is Michael Bradley, the son of Bob Bradley, on the doorstep. And he has no hesitation. Buries that ball. And it's 1-0 to the U.S. Great execution from a set piece for the USA.
This ball gets through, and Ochoa had it knocked away at the last moment as he tried to make his play. Michael Bradley gets credit for the goal. Donovan helped to set him up. 3rd career goal in World Cup qualifying for Bradley.
It's a good ball by Beasley, and really excellent effort from all around.
Began though with that set piece, and you talked about how important those would be, especially today.
Well, the thing is, it keeps the goalkeeper honest with the wind and the factor that's going on there. Sanchez can't come out too much, and you know, here's another look right here from the back side of the goal. Landon Donovan, a great header back across, and there's Onyewu, who tried to bring the best out of Sanchez again, but there's Michael Bradley celebrating as he should, and there's, hey, a proud father, not only a head coach, but a dad. That's a great time to score a goal just before halftime. Now it's a mental game as they go into the dressing room.
Bradley for Beasley. Chipped over. Sanchez, it came out. It should be another corner kick. Momentum, USA.
Momentum and the pace, the movement off the ball is very good from the USA. They cause another threat, and Beasley, with his speed, jumping on that ball to create some havoc in the 18. Sanchez there, hey, he's got every right to yell at his back line and his defensive midfielders because they are being opened up by this U.S. attack.
Closing seconds of the first half. They will add a minute in stoppage time. Beasley, another corner. Michael Bradley, looked like he got pushed as he tried to go up against Marquez. Incidental contact.
Yeah, he did get pushed, actually. But here's the build-up, and look at this high shot. Great stuff. And there's Michael Bradley, gets on the end of it, puts it back out wide. Great 1-2. Beasley cutting across his player. You love to see that in the off-the-ball stuff.
Back to live action. Beasley denied there. Out for a USA throw-in. 21-year-old Michael Bradley has scored an all-important first goal against Mexico. On the throw. Headed up by Bocanegra. Ching was looking for it off Dempsey. Coming up, SportsCenter halftime report. Ryan Burr and John's former teammate Alexi Lalas back in the studio. Highlights from Argentina, France. How did David Beckham do today? England was taking on Spain, and those guys will break down the highlights of this match as the first half has come to a close. SportsCenter halftime report will be coming your way shortly. It is a 1-0 lead for the United States. Michael Bradley gets the goal. Let's go downstairs. Pedro Gomez has Bob Bradley.
Bob, what did you make of the first half?
Obviously, it took a long time to settle down. It's a game of second balls. It's a game of moving as a team. It's very good that we get a goal late in the half. It's an important time to score and take the lead.
Which part is more proud, you the coach or you the father?
Right now, it's just about the team.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Ryan Burr, we'll go back to you in the studio.